It's January 2021. For the past 5 months, I've consistently posted videos on YouTube, but it feels like I'm banging against a brick wall. I put stuff out there and nobody responded. It felt like this impossible, insurmountable task to even get 1 subscriber. Imagine this, your entire life is aligned to doing something, yet I only had 12 subscribers and I personally knew every single one of them. I have until May, the end of that university year, to get something working. Otherwise, I'd have to go back to my 9 to 5, which was my worst nightmare. I recently got sick and spent literally an entire month making the perfect video and still only got 12 views in return. 6 weeks ago, my 9 to 5 actually sent me an email guaranteeing me a job if I confirmed that I want to come back. And honestly, I still hadn't responded because I didn't know what to say. It felt like a safe option, a guaranteed income after I finish university. It was really tempting, but I also knew that I would hate every second of it. And if I did pursue that job, I would have a lot less time to pursue my own thing. And around this time, I actually got another email from them telling me that I need to respond soon and that a courtesy of reply would be appreciated because they need to know whether I'm coming back or not. So it was urgent. I had to say yes or no. So after some thinking and deliberation, I declined and I said in the email that I'm quitting to pursue entrepreneurship, even though I still hadn't got a single subscriber. It felt really weird to say because I literally didn't have a single thing to show for it. But at that point, I was literally prepared to go back to the retail shop I used to work at called TK Maxx if it meant I had more time to pursue my actual goals. In the background though, something actually started happening to my channel. Slowly, this channel started getting a few impressions here and there, and before I knew it, there was a few like blue lines that come up when you get a view, and I didn't know where they were coming from. It was exciting because I had just experienced 5 months of dead silence. The algorithm was testing the video, that perfect video that I spent a month on but only got 12 views. It was doing this for a while and it wasn't showing any signs of stopping. Every day I would go on that video and I would see a few more of those blue lines come up. A few mornings later, I woke up and instead of seeing 12 on the subscriber count like I was used to seeing for the last 5 months, it was 13. The video was slowly ramping up. It felt like it wasn't going to stop for a while. And it didn't. That video ended up getting over 100,000 views and got me my first few thousand subscribers, but my most meaningful day was the day I hit 100 subscribers. My girlfriend's really wholesome, so she baked me this cake with 100 written on it. I remember celebrating with my university friends, and I remember going out on a run that day. And that run was probably the most important run of my life, because on that run, and since that run, my mindset completely flipped. I've since hit 100,000 subscribers and literally made 6 figures online, but none of that seemed to be that important in comparison to that moment on the run. Because even though my future still seemed very uncertain, on that run, I realized that everything was going to be okay. I still had a long way to go, but I remember listening to this song called Hundreds by House of Pharaohs, which basically just sings about getting loads of money and getting bitches and stuff. Even though I still had such a long way to go, but that song for some reason that carries a lot of meaning for me. I knew that if I could get 100 people to subscribe to me, I could get any amount. After this random 100 subscriber moment, nothing felt quite the same. Business went from this weird, like, stressful thing that I didn't know if it was going to work out, this massive risk, to this fun game that I was playing. And actually, just after it started feeling like this, my channel blew up for real. There's this invisible point that's going to be different for everyone, where business switches from this stressful thing to this really fun game that you're playing. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to get to that point as quickly as possible. Before we start, if you're new here, my name is Brian, and I really didn't like my 9 to 5 job, to the point where I made my entire life about escaping it, and now I want to teach you how to escape it too, because I managed to do it in just 8 months, right before that university year finished. My goal is to help as many people as possible quit their 9 to 5 jobs, because it's a horrible fucking life. To get to that point where business becomes easy and just starts feeling like this game, you need 2 simple things. Never quit, and keep improving. But it isn't that easy, is it? Because before it gets to that point where it feels like a game, you're literally giving yourself a mental health disorder. I used to go on YouTube analytics every morning, see nothing different, and every single time my dopamine would drop and I would feel absolutely horrible. Thankfully, the reason I was doing it was so strong that I still pushed through all of that, but some people give up because they don't have enough belief to keep them going. Picture this. If I told you that you could get $10,000 a month guaranteed if you just put your head down and work for 2 years, it would be quite easy, wouldn't it, to just carry on because you know the reward is waiting for you at the end. The thing is, that's not a hypothetical situation. That is actually what will happen if you have the belief, you keep going and you keep improving. But a lot of people quit before that point, get burnt out, get depressed, so there's a few things we can do. And the first thing is to break through your mind's barriers. There's these little blocks in business sometimes where we know something will really push the needle forward, but we just don't want to do it because it's new to us and we don't know what to expect. We don't know whether it will work or not, how people will react to it. These kinds of tasks that are blocking you right now usually get you to that next level in business, and you need to aim to get them done as quickly as possible. One of my block tasks was actually starting this channel in the first place. I put off doing it for a few weeks because I didn't know how my initial audience would react. I had a lot of anxieties around it. So refocus and just force your brain to do it. Realize that the first time you do it, it's going to be difficult, but every subsequent time that you do it, it's going to get easier and easier. Sitting down here and recording these facecam videos is really easy for me now, but it started off as it was a task that I had a lot of resistance to in my head. Breaking through these barriers will add to your level of belief, but if you start contemplating whether it's worth doing or whether it will work out, then your belief will slowly dwindle. That's why it's really important to just get them done as quickly as possible. The next thing you can do to stop your belief from dropping and to keep going is to act without emotion. In business, things go wrong all of the time. 90% of the time, your video's either not getting views, you're thinking about some nasty comments, something negative is happening. And when one of these setbacks happens, it's actually not a problem, it's normal. The problem comes with your reaction to it. If you react with emotion to it, like this, you give it this negative emotion, you give it energy, that's when your belief drops. And I actually had this recently. I posted a video, I think it was about 2 or 3 videos ago from this one, where I woke up the next morning and I had this moment where I just had to check the analytics. I couldn't control myself, and I saw that the video was a 10 out of 10. I was like, oh no, what happened there? You know, I kept trying to think of new titles, like deliberating what went wrong. I thought of a new title in the first 5 minutes and I set that title, and that's when I should have stopped. But I kept wallowing on it for about, I'm not going to lie to you, about 90 minutes. All of that time was wasted because I reacted with emotion. And guess what happened? After I changed that title in the first 5 minutes, at the end of the day, that video ended up being a 2 out of 10 on the algorithm anyway, so I had no reason to waste all of that time and act emotionally. The reason you have a negative reaction to things is because you've made up this script in your mind. You have this picture of how something is going to go, and then reality didn't quite match that script, which created a negative emotion. But we can't follow the script that our mind makes up because our script isn't reality. Things won't go your way a lot, and that's just how things were meant to be. Clearly that video just wasn't supposed to go viral. So whenever one of these things happens and you start feeling emotional about something, you get this negative emotion like anger or sadness or whatever it might be, try to control your reaction. You can either make it a negative reaction, which will take you more towards the negative side of things, waste more time, or you can have a positive reaction. Just say, that's okay, clearly wasn't meant to be, and start working on the next thing immediately. Don't waste any time thinking about it. And actually, a lot of this negative emotion comes from the importance you put on the events. Take this example. Imagine you're in court. To not get kicked out of court, you have to be quiet. You have to follow the rules of the court. You have to be respectful. But if you start suddenly getting really anxious about not getting kicked out of court, you start flailing your arms around saying, please don't kick me out, please, then obviously you're going to get kicked out. A lot of people act with this desperation, trying desperately to get views, desperately to get money, and that's literally the opposite of what will get them what they want. Flip the script. Instead of putting importance on you, put the importance on them, whoever you're serving, your viewers, your clients, whoever. Think, how can I give them the best service possible? How can I give them the best video possible? How can I help them as much as I possibly can? Let go of the money, the views, and just think about the person that you're giving value to. The world has a funny way of giving us what we want after we drop the importance of it in our mind, after we stop wanting it altogether. I only started getting views on my YouTube channel where I pretty much stopped caring about views. I just thought, fuck it. I'm gonna keep trying to make this work. If it doesn't work, I'm prepared to work in Tesco, work in retail like I used to. I'll just keep trying until it works out. I don't care what happens. And then magically, my channel started growing. If you manage to abandon this importance enough, then you're just going to act regardless of whether you believe or not, because you stop caring. You just do it because you know at some point it will work out and it doesn't bother you that much anymore. That's the quickest way of getting to your goals, because you stop giving yourself a mental health disorder about whether or not the results are going to come by this time. Dropping your ego and just letting go of the goal is actually how you achieve it fastest in the first place, because when you stop caring, there's no need for belief anymore. You just do what's necessary. The next thing you can do to reach that barrier a lot faster is by sacrifice. Every business requires some sort of sacrifice. Right now, to make this channel work, I sacrificed being able to live in Asia, because in Asia, Thailand and all that, it's really fun. There's constantly something to do, but you're also constantly using time on doing fun stuff. You're moving around constantly. It's really hard to get into a good routine. It's fun, but it's also quite distracting and unstable. I think I'm going to come back there eventually, but I'm going to do it in a different way where I have one place to stay in and we don't move around too much. I'm also sacrificing a lot of time with my family. I spend the majority of my time in this room planning videos, working on my businesses, and learning about how to make them better. I've sacrificed some relationships with friends. I'm not able to respond to friends nearly as much as I want to. I used to love food. Food was one of my main motivators, and I sacrificed my love for food to just eat this really plain, strict diet, which keeps my brain functioning as well as possible. And I've also sacrificed a ton of comfort because I've literally aligned my life towards making my business goals work. I could sleep in until 8, 9 a.m. because I don't have a job, I can do what I want. But instead, I wake up at 5 a.m, doesn't matter what happens, even though it's uncomfortable. I go to the gym almost every single day because it's uncomfortable and because it helps me work harder in my business. The more you sacrifice, the more successful you're going to be. If you can manage it, business needs to be the main thing in your life, because then it will dominate your thoughts, and thoughts turn into actions, which then turn into results. You're going to succeed in business the fastest if business literally takes up like 80 or 90% of the thoughts you have in your day-to-day life. That's why I always say to pursue something that you love, that you're obsessed with, because if you're not, then your life is going to be miserable trying to do this business model that you don't really like, because 80 to 90% of your thoughts center around that business. I actually remember last year I had to stop doing kickboxing, Muay Thai kickboxing. I was really into it. I loved it and it gave a lot of value in my life, but at the same time, it was taking up a lot of mental bandwidth. I constantly thought about Muay Thai while I was trying to do my work, trying to get my video done, trying to get my product done last year, and it was taking up more thought space than my business was. I started seeing the negative impact it was having on my business, so I had to make a decision. Do I want to be a Muay Thai fighter, or do I want this business to succeed? And I chose the business because that's what meant more to me. The more you sacrifice, the quicker the results will come, and the quicker you'll break that belief barrier and it will start feeling fun, like a game. Before business starts feeling like a game, sacrificing can be really difficult. It can make life feel miserable almost, because you still haven't got results in this thing, but you're aligning your entire life to it. You don't even know if it's going to work. You've given up so much for it. But the more you end up sacrificing, the quicker the results end up coming. And let's be honest, you're not like the average person. The average person isn't okay with sacrificing a lot to reach their goals, but you're not like them. We're not okay with that shit, stagnant, average life, 40 years in a 9-to-5, so we need to sacrifice more than the average person. Do this for me. List out everything you spend your time on during your week, and think of some things to sacrifice. I really like playing guitar, as you can see, but right now, I want to be successful more than I want to be good at playing guitar. And this might be an out of the ordinary extreme view, but to get extreme results, that's what's required. You're watching this detailed talking head business videos that are boring to most of the population because you are not normal. I struggled with this because I knew this from the beginning. Even when I still worked my 9-to-5, I knew that I wasn't like these other people. I knew that I was meant for something more, but when I thought these things, I was still fat. I still ate like 3 or 4 chocolate bars a day and drank 2 liters of Coke a day. I still relied on my student loan for money. It was frustrating because I knew deep down what I was meant for, but reality hadn't caught up yet. I felt like this wannabe entrepreneur, businessman. I saw the video had like 100,000 views that I was watching, and I just felt like a number. But I knew deep down that that wasn't the case, and the same is true for you. You're watching this because you have that quality. You know that you're meant for more than this. If you know you're meant for something, just fucking go all in on it. Don't ever settle, bury it, start following someone else's dreams. Fuck all that. Do what you're meant to be doing. Yeah, it's scary, but who cares what will happen? Some people might judge you. Who gives a fuck? You might have to work a job at a store like Tesco or something for a bit until you make it work. Who cares? Even if you do have to work a job like that, you know that it's only temporary. You're not going to be one of those people that's stuck there for 40 years stagnant because they don't want to improve, but you do. All of the setbacks that happen to you create this fucking amazing story that you can tell after you've made it. Let's go to the gym.
Hello, my friend. Long time no see. I missed you, you know. I don't know why I haven't been doing these car bits. I think every time I get in the car and I'm supposed to record, I just forget, I just don't. I get halfway through the drive and I'm like, oh shit, I was supposed to record the car bit. And also I kind of tweaked my back at the gym the other day, and it's not because I was doing any back exercises. I actually slipped a disc before, and it took like over a month to recover, so now my back's a little bit fragile, so I just have to be careful. I'm doing exercises and it's better now, but yeah, I couldn't, I had to skip the runs and go on walks instead for like 2 of them. See, I just smiled at that woman who let me go. As soon as you smile at people, any liberties you take with them, it doesn't matter because you smiled at them. Always keep that in mind. Whenever you go around smiling, you get your way every time and no one minds. Anyway, in case you're new here and you're wondering, what the fuck, why is Brian just talking about random shit in his car? Well, it's because this section is the section for the legends, the ones that are really dedicated to their mission and they want to just find out a bit more about the host of this channel, Brian. So I didn't really have much to say today to you, to be honest. The only thing I wanted to update you on is I did say a couple of videos ago that I wanted to start monetizing this channel, and you know, I wanted to make at least $500 to $1,000 a month so that I know when it comes down to it and I try to switch all of my income over to this business, that, you know, just breaking that belief barrier so I know it's possible. And I'm happy to say that it's very fucking possible. I've got a few clients now. We're making a steady income source from this channel. Yeah, there's people booking the mentorship and I'm really trying to help the people out that are booking it, and I'm really, really happy about that. Even though like the hourly rate that I'm earning for the mentorship is a lot lower than like my other channel, I don't give a fuck because this is like the most purposeful, meaningful work I've ever done to date. I'm literally helping someone change their life, escape the 9-to-5, which is the thing that caused me so much pain in my life. So that's what matters to me. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. We're just carrying on grinding. I'm about to go back home, have my really strict Whole Foods meal that I'm gonna read all day, just have a fucking blast leveling up in this game of real life. And I hope you're doing the same thing. I hope you're joining me on this journey because it's fucking wonderful. Once you get the momentum going, it's like you can't be stopped. The hard part is getting that initial momentum. After that, it's a breeze. It's funny because every single morning, I always wake up and I never want to face the day. I always feel like an absolute bitch. And that also goes for when I'm about to go to the gym. I never want to get out of bed in the morning and I never want to go to the gym, like leave my house. But as soon as I start either my workout or as soon as I just start my work in the morning, I get dressed and I just make my coffee, start drinking it, use my fucking brain, I immediately get into that work mode and I immediately forget that I was even thinking that in the first place. When I was younger, like 15, 16, that used to fucking paralyze me. I used to never do any homework, any tasks that I've been set until literally the very last minute. And it always used to cause me so much stress in my life. But I feel like I've slowly conquered that as I've got older, and now I just fucking take action. So I don't have to worry about not taking action anymore, you know? And I kind of fell back into that a few weeks ago when I said like I was a bit nervous to try certain things, but now I've kind of broke through that barrier and now we're breezy, we're full steam ahead. car sections will be coming back. I'm going to try and get them into the majority of videos, because I think it's quite valuable for me to just talk what's on my mind, tell you how things are going, because you know, in the videos they're on a specific agenda, a specific topic, so I can't always do that. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing these sections more and more often. So yeah, I'm home now. I'm going to have my meal. I'm going to hand it over to the other Brian.
Keep going, keep grinding, my friend. Never quit, keep improving, and one day, quite soon from now, you will get there. That's all from me today. If you're interested in some YouTube mentorship, I do some one-to-one mentorship. You can check the link out in the description. If not, that's fine. I will see you in the next video.